This is Jerome. Anyway, when it's gonna be ready? When to go?
You go.
Hey, this is Jerome Major. How y'all doing today? This light is something. Let's see. I need to put that back there. This is Jerome Major once again with you with Wake Up Israel, and my purpose here is to try to wake up the children of Israel, especially in the United States. And as I was talking before about Nimrod and the world that then was, and we are living in that world again. But what I want to do today, I want to start off in the book of Jubilees, and I want to read some scriptures to you. So we're going to see what we have lost and what we need to regain. Because I believe that what is happening in the world right now is that especially what's happening in Israel, what's happening in the United States, especially this incident with Charlie Kirk. Now, I believe that the truth of this is coming out because that's what I was saying to you. This broadcast is based on the revelation of truth, and that's what we're going to get into. So I want to start off by reading from the first chapter of the book of Jubilees. And this is when Moses was in the mount with the Most High. And I'm just going to read a few of these verses out of the first chapter, from the 13th verse to the 16th verse. And he says, I shall hide my face from them, and I shall deliver them into the hand of the Gentiles for captivity, and for a prey, and for a devouring. And I shall remove them from the midst of the land, and I shall scatter them among the Gentiles, and they will forget all my law and all my commandments and all my judgments, and I will go astray as to new moons and Sabbath and festivals and jubilees and ordinance. And after this, they will turn to me from amongst the Gentiles with all their heart, with all their souls, and with all their strength. And I shall gather them from amongst all the Gentiles, and they shall seek me, so that I shall be found of them when they seek me with all their heart, and with all their soul. And I shall disclose to them abounding peace with righteousness, and I shall remove them the plant of uprightness with all my heart and with all my soul, until they be for a blessing and not for a curse, and they will be head and not the tail. Now, let me get to the I'm going to read from the third chapter of the book of Revelation. And what I'm going to do here is to show you what they are going to do. But then I'm going to get into what we have to come to before this happens. Revelation 3:9 through 11. And it says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell on the earth. Now, we have to be prepared for this. And like I said before, the Most High gave Moses the whole history of what was going to happen to us. Now, let me keep reading here the Jubilees, the 6th chapter, and the 17th through the 22nd verse. Jubilees, the 6th chapter, and let's see here, 6:17 says, and of the and the other thing, what I'm going to show you that all these feast days and Sabbath days that the Most High commanded us to keep, they are being kept in heaven. And as I told you, the Most High is operating and doing everything on the calendar that he has in heaven, and the same calendar that he originally gave to us. But we're going to see how all that got corrupted, and we have to get that back. We're going to have to get it back. All right. So the 6th chapter, I think in the 17th verse. And of the children of Israel, it hath been written and ordained, if they turn to him in righteousness, he will forgive all their transgression and pardon all their sins. It is written and ordained that he will show mercy to all who turn from all their guilt once a year. Now, the Feast of Atonement, that feast, the Feast of Trumpets is the blowing of trumpets throughout Israel to announce the Day of Atonement is 10 days. Now we are to pray, and on the Day of Atonement, we are to fast. Every soul must be afflicted. That feast has not been fulfilled yet, because when we're going to get into that a little deeper on some upcoming messages. But when Paul said that the beasts of bulls and goats did not take away sins, because once that was done, you still had a consciousness of sin. But the Most High, once that feast is fulfilled, literally, we will not have the capacity to sin anymore. Okay, so it is written and ordained that he will show mercy to all who turn from all their guilt once a year. And as for all those who corrupted their ways and their thoughts before the flood, no person was accepted save that of Noah alone, for his person was accepted in behalf of his sons, whom Yahweh saved from the waters of the flood on his account, for his heart was righteous. All right. Now I want to go to the 38th verse of the second chapter. 38th verse. Let's see, no, 38th second chapter. 38. See. Second Jubilee, second 38, 31, 17, 22. Let's go back to the 6th chapter. I got this all mixed up here. 6th chapter of Jubilees, and the 6th chapter of Jubilee, the 22nd verse. 6th chapter of Jubilees. Okay, I read the first one. That was the wrong one. I was supposed to be in second Jubilees, the second chapter, 17th and 18th verse. For this reason, It is ordained and written in the heavenly tables that there should that they should celebrate the Feast of Weeks in this month once a year to renew the covenant every year. And this whole festival was celebrated in heaven from the day of creation till the days of Noah, 26 jubilees and 5 weeks of years. And Noah and his sons observed it for 7 jubilees and 1 week of years till the day of Noah's death. And from the day of Noah's death, and his sons did away with it until the days of Abraham, and they ate blood. And remember when I read to you where Noah was keeping all these feast days and all the commandments that the Most High gave him, and he told his sons to remember your Creator, live righteous, and avoid fornication. And he told them if a woman in your community commits fornication, you were to burn her with fire. It was to keep it pure. But when Noah died, sons died, and they just forgot it. And the Most High is telling Moses all of this in the mountain, right? Now, let's keep reading this, right? He said, but Abraham observed it, and Isaac and Jacob and his children observed it until to thy days. And in thy days the children of Israel forgot it until ye celebrated it anew on this mountain. Now, we was talking about in the last message, right? How we talk about how Abraham grew up. He was taught by Noah and Shem, and he kept all of the commandments of the Most High. And the Most High called Abraham out of Ur of the Chaldees, took him to the land of Canaan. And Abraham had Isaac, Isaac had Jacob and Esau, and Jacob and his sons kept all the commandments, kept the festivals and everything. And the Most High is telling Moses all of this, right? And do thou command the children of Israel to observe this festival in all their generation for a commandment unto them. One day in the year, in this month, they shall celebrate the festival. For it is the Feast of Weeks and the Feast of First Fruits. This feast is twofold and of a double nature, according to what is written and engraven concerning it. Celebrate it. For I have written in the book of the first law on that which I have written for thee, that thou shouldest celebrate it in its season one day in the year. And I explained it in thee, its sacrifices, that the children of Israel should remember and should celebrate it throughout their generations in this month, one day in every year. Okay, I don't want to read all of this, right? Because this talks about Abraham and how he kept everything happened on a feast day. When he went into the ark, when he came out, everything. Because, like I said, the Most High is operating on a calendar. Now, let's go to that's the 22nd, the 32nd verse down to the 38th verse. And this is the Most High talking to Moses. And command thou the children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days, and these will constitute a complete year, and they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feasts, for everything will fall out in them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feast. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged from this order. And they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged, and they will neglect their ordinances. And all the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. For I know, and from henceforth shall I declare unto thee, and it is not of my own devising, for the book lieth written before me, and on the heavenly tables the division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles, after their error and after their ignorance. Now, like I've been saying, and what happened to us as a nation? We fell out. I mean, we just went away, forgot everything. The Most High, now he is in the mountain. He got all the children of Israel, they encamped around the mount. But the Most High is telling Moses all this that has happened from the creation to Noah, all of this, right? So, and the Most High is telling Moses what they're going to do, okay? Now, it says, for there will be those who will surely make observations of the moon. Now it disturbeth the seasons, and cometh in from year to year 10 days too soon. For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day the day of testimony, and an unclean day a day of feast day, and they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Sabbath and feasts and jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to thee, that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death thy children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason, they will go wrong as to the new moon and seasons and Sabbaths and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. Now, and it's so, and this is critical. This is something that we have to recapture, because we know what they did. They changed everything, and we followed them as a nation, as a people. We just got so corrupt. I mean, the Most High, when Moses when he was in that mountain, he told them they had sinned. They had created an idol. The Most High was going to destroy us. But Moses interceded and prayed for us. And then when Moses got down and he saw what they had done, man, he threw them tablets down. He went down there and then he said, everybody who's on Yahweh's side, let them come to me. And he destroyed that calf and ground it to powder. And 3,000 of them was destroyed that day. Now let's keep reading here. Okay, that's the 38th. I want to go to Daniel 7 and 25. Just want to read that right quick. This is the fourth beast here. And when we look at what the Most High has said, right? And what, let me read this right here. This is the beast, right? And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. Now, then I went through so many calendars and changes. And the reason they're doing this because they know that once Israel is awakened, as long as they can keep us worshiping and keeping feasts on the wrong days, we will not get the benefit. Okay. Now, and they done change it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. Back during the Greeks, they changed it. When the Romans got there, they changed it, I think, twice, and the Pope changed it one time, took 10 days out, and all this stuff, right? So they got the calendar so messed up. All right, now, now this is back when the Most High led our people out of Egypt. And before that, they had forgotten to keep these laws. He said they forgot. And he said, now you're going to do it again at this mountain. And so the Most High is going to take Moses through all of this, right? Now, when we get to, I want to go to Revelation 13 and 8. Wait a minute. I need to finish this first. Okay, where did I stop? Man, 32. I started on 32. 6C. Okay. All right. Say, for there will be those who will surely, okay, for this reasons, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abomination. Okay. Okay, I read all of this. 364 days a year. Now, back to I want to reread I think that's the second chapter where these feast days are kept in heaven. Oh, let's see. Okay, let's see. And against the angel. No. Let's see. Where is that at? Lord have mercy. 2 and let's see. 2 and okay. The creator of these things. Let's see. Second chapter, I believe, in the 16th verse. And he finished all his works on the 6th day, all that is in the heavens and on the earth and in the sea and in the abyss and in the light and in the darkness and in everything. And he gave us a great sign, the Sabbath day, that we should work 6 days, but keep Sabbath on the Sabbath day from all work. And all the angels of the presence and all the angels of sanctification, these 2 great classes, he hath hidden us to keep the Sabbath with him in heaven and on earth. Remember the prayer the Lord taught us, our Father which art in heaven, give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our sins and trespasses. Let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. These feast days and the Sabbath days, all these days being kept in heaven. Now, I need to find that where I read that about the week, the Feast of Weeks. And I think I just read it somewhere. Man, 22, 32. I just had it. I know I just read it. I think so. So when he said to, I need to find it though. I need to find because I need to reread something in that. It's 2 and C18. Oh, is it 6? 6. Let's see. And he made his work anew. This settle down. Let's see. It's right here somewhere. Okay, this is it right here. Okay. Uh, okay. That's see. For I have written in the book of the first law, and I explain in the sacrifice. Remember, and on the new moon of the first month. Okay, let's see. Reckoning and command out the children of Israel that they observe. Okay, and command out the children of Israel. This is Jubilees 6 chapter in the 32nd verse. And command out the children of Israel that they observe the years. Feast. Okay, complete. That's not it. Leave out any day of the feast. And all the children of Israel. And there will be those who will. No, that's. Well, I'm gonna have to find that a little later. But anyway, it says about the feast of weeks, right? And the feast of Passover and unleavened bread and all of that. That's being kept in heaven. All right. And the Passover is what the Messiah fulfilled his first coming. He died on Passover. He was buried on unleavened bread. He rose from the dead on the feast of first fruits, which Israel was keeping up until then, right? And then 50 days later, that's the Feast of Weeks, came the Feast of Pentecost. And 40 days, the Messiah taught the disciples everything that was going to happen in all this, right? And he told them to go to Jerusalem, tarry there, don't leave until you are endued with power from on high. Okay? That's the Feast of Pentecost. Those first 4 feasts have been fulfilled. The 3 fall feasts have not yet been fulfilled, and they have a significant meaning of fulfillment. But all this time had to pass so Israel could go through everything that the Messiah told Moses would happen. And everything that he told Moses has happened, and it only happened to the children of Israel. How he would turn them over to the Gentiles, captivity, slavery, all of this in the 28th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy. How they went to West Africa and brought us in slave ships, sold us all over the world to Europe, all over the world, right? They done control all this world. And this is the seed of Esau that has controlled the world and brought us into slavery. They are trying to get the blessing back. This is what the church is all about, replacement theology, to keep our minds entangled. But the Most High said in the last days, he's going to wake us up, and we are going to see, once we recognize what has happened to us, we're going to see, and we're going to turn to him, and we're going to seek this word, this truth. The 13th chapter of the book of Revelation and the 8th verse. Let's see here. And this is 13 and 8. And it says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. You see, they keeping these feasts, slain lambs, just like Israel was doing. And that lamb represented the Messiah. He was slain from the foundation of the world, from the creation. Right after creation, they started keeping all these feasts. And then he gave it to Israel. We're the only ones he gave this to keep. And we're going to get into all the history of how Esau's descendants got control of the whole world. And I'm going to read 2nd Ezra again, because I think I read it on the last broadcast, but I need to read it again. 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, and the 7th through the 10th verse. He said, I answered and said, what will be the dividing of the times, or when will the end of the first age and the beginning of the age that follows? When the disciple was asking Yeshua, what will be the sign of your coming and of the sign of the end of the age? You see, they even asked him, Lord, will you at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? And he said it was not for you to know the times or the season which the Father hath put in his own power. But you shall receive power after the Holy Ghost has come upon you, and you will be witnesses of me in Judea, Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, to the ends of the earth, because the children of Israel is scattered to the ends of the earth. But now, here's Ezra, is asking, and he said, in the Most High, he said to me, from Abraham to Isaac, because from him were born Jacob and Esau. For Jacob's hand held Esau's heel from the beginning. Now Esau is the end of this age, and Jacob is the beginning of the age that follows. The beginning of a person is the hand, and the end of a person is the heel. Seek for nothing else, Ezra, between the hand and the heel. What he is saying is when Jacob and Esau came on the scene, there was fighting in the womb. And it was so bad until Rebekah had to go inquire of the Most High, what is going on with me? And the Most High told her that 2 nations are in thy womb, and the elder shall serve the younger. Esau was born first. He was supposed to inherit the birthright, the blessing, and everything. But like I read in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter, Paul said, even before the boys did any good or evil, because it was because of the election of the Most High. And as those boys grew up, Esau was fierce, and Jacob was a smooth man, a gentleman. He learned how to write and everything. Esau didn't learn none of that because he was a hunter. He learned war, and that was his blessing that he got, because Jacob got the blessing, and he came in there, he begged his father, do you have one blessing for me? And he told him that you would live by the sword. And we have seen that from that history. And like I said, everything else that has happened is nothing but collateral damage. It's all about Jacob and Esau and what has happened to us in this world. And we must wake up. We need to get out of these churches, because you know what? I need to read this. What I did with that article. That article that I, let's see, about the church. Emperor Constantine, they created a brand new god, because Roman had assimilated with the Greeks, and they had all these different gods that they was worshiping. And in the Roman Empire, you see, when the Messiah came, right, and they was preaching and all of this and all that was going on, All right. And they killed the Messiah. That's what he came for. But I'm trying to show you now, and it wasn't the majority of our people that accepted him. On the day of Pentecost, 3,000 was saved. And then another time, 5,000. And then the Lord added to the assembly such as should be saved. You know what I'm saying? And they was all fighting. They was all fighting against everything. I mean, it was just chaos. And Esau was among them. They was in Mount Seir, which is south of Judea, and during the time of the Maccabees, and we're going to get into all of that, but during the time of the Maccabees, a Maccabees priest forcibly converted the Edomians, which are the sons of Esau, circumcised them, made them keep their laws and everything. You know what I'm saying? Because by the time it got down to this leader, it just like it always does, they just get worse and worse. And then they just, started doing things, forcibly converted them. And they was in Jerusalem during the time of the Messiah. They was in high positions and everything. And they were mostly the Pharisees and the Sadducees, all of this, right? And they were the one who plotted to kill him. Matter of fact, I can read a few out of the book of St. John just to show you, because even when John the Baptist was preaching and they came to his baptism, and you know what I'm saying, they sent spies out to spy it out. You know what I'm saying? So John said, "Who have warned you, you vipers, you snakes, you vermins? Who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come?" Now, the eighth chapter of the book of St. John, let's see, the eighth chapter. I just want to read this, and then I think I'm going to close it out for today. Let's see, the eighth chapter of the book of St. John. All right, let's see where I want to start at here. Let's see, the Pharisees. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Then said he, eighth chapter, let's see, judge after the flesh. That's not what I want there. Okay, I think it's the 27th verse. They understood not that he spake of them of the Father. Then said Yeshua unto them, when ye have lifted up the Son of Man, then shall ye know that I am he, and that I do nothing of myself, but as my Father hath taught me, I speak these things. And he that sent me is with me. The Father hath not left me alone, for I do always those things that please him. As he spake these words, many believed on him. Then said Yeshua to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be free? Now you see, these are the people that were converted to the Israelites because of this. I can't think of his name now, but this high priest, right? That it supposed to be converted, all of them, everything, right? So they're saying we are Abraham's seed, and they were Abraham's seed. Now let's read some more. Yeshua answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. and the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. I know, now this is Yeshua speaking. I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word hath no place in you. I speak that which I have seen with my father, and you do that which ye have seen with your father. They answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Yeshua said unto them, if ye were Abraham's children, ye would do the works of Abraham. But now ye seek to kill me, a man that hath told you the truth, which I have heard of Yahweh. This did not Abraham. You do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one Father, even God. Yeshua said unto them, if Yahweh were your father, ye would love me, for I proceed from and came from Yah. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because ye cannot hear my word. Ye are of your father the devil. These are Edomites he's talking to. And the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. Which of you convinces me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me? He that is of Yahweh heareth Yahweh's word. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of Yahweh. And you know what? There's many instances, and this is an instance because the Edomites were in high positions. Remember, Herod was an Edomite. We would call a converted Jew. He was forcibly converted into that, and his whole family, right? And he appointed high priests and what have you to operate in the synagogue and what have you. So we have to get this, when you read some of this, and unless you got the history of what is going on, these words won't mean nothing to you. And Yeshua, like I said before, he was not a soft-spoken, get along with everybody kind of man. Because the world has gotten so corrupted and Israel has fallen such a far way. Man, he had a real mess on his hands. But the scriptures must be fulfilled. And I'm going to ask you all to like this video and share it, whatever you have to do to get it out there so more people can hear it. I'm going to be trying to come on every day and to teach and to get this word out, because there is so much going on. We need to talk about presently things that are happening, but we need to get a background. We need to know who we are as a people, see what has happened to us as a nation, and where we are today. It is so critical and it's so important. Like I was reading earlier about the calendar that the Most High have, and he told Moses that after you die, Moses, and Moses told the people the same thing. He said, y'all so rebellious now while I'm alive. He said, what, after my death, what are y'all going to do? You know, and Most High told them they're going to be corrupted. They're going to forget about the calendar. They're going to forget about the feast days and all of this, right? Now, you have to understand the Most High is telling Moses this, right? Now, all this have to be played out, and it have to be played out all the way. And in Israel, there was always a remnant of people that was faithful to the word of the Most High. But the majority of them, you know, and they kept going into captivity. The Most High raised up judges. The judge would deliver them. Long as the judge was alive, they would live correctly, keeping the commandments, the laws, the Sabbaths, the festivals, everything. As soon as the judge died, they would rebel again. And Most High kept delivering them, going in judgment. And then when it got to the Greeks, it just kept getting worse and worse. Then the Romans took over, kept getting worse. And then that's when all hell broke loose. And Yeshua prophesied all of that. So when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, and when you see this, he told them to flee to the mountains. And the history of that is so, is so appalling and so bad. They wrecked the temple. Yeshua said there will not be one stone left upon another that would not be thrown down. Because they had the temple inlaid with gold and everything, right? So they wanted all that. So they tore the temple down, took the gold, everything. They took all of the menorahs out of the temple, put it in their temples. All of that. They got the Ark of Titus and all of that, right? They kicked the Jews out of the land. Out. Then the Edomites were the one that took over. And they created this Judaism, and they lived by the Talmud and all of this wickedness and everything, right? But Israel was wicked. That's why they got kicked out of the land, went into West Africa. And like I said before, the 10 northern tribes, they went out in 721 BC. Never heard, there's no more mention of them because they went into sub-Saharan Africa mainly. And I believe a lot of them came over here to the Americas. Okay, so when the pale beast started to reign, because the earth was divided into 3 parts when Noah gave his sons the 3 parts, right? And all of that, but you don't hear but no people living nowhere else. Okay, so as time went on, then this 4th part, America in this area. And there's all kind of evidence of they were Africans. They had these Olmec heads and everything. All right. And a lot of people believe that a lot of the 10 northern tribes was over here too. But and I've seen a lot of evidence of that. But the main thing I'm trying to say here, when the pale beast, the pale horse, that was when they came over here and conquered this land. And they done conquered Europe because, like I said before, Europe was the land of Japhet, a black man. They conquered that. And we're going to get into that on this program, right? They conquered that. And doing the ancient wars over there, all of that, right? They conquered, then they went in and they got Africa when the beast came out of the bottomless pit. Because on one program I read to you in the book of Revelation, 20th chapter, an angel came down from heaven with a great chain in his hand. He bound the dragon, cast him into the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. That 1,000 years was up in the 1500s. He came back to power. And that's when they came up with this diversus thing, but the law of discovery. You go, you conquer any land that is not Christian. And that's the reason why. And it's time for these churches, pastors, And a lot of them know a lot about this. That's what I don't understand. But they have to get out of this church mentality because it's nothing but a chain that still got us bound. We got to break that chain because, like I said, the Most High is operating on a calendar. You see all these things that are happening in the world today. It's all coming. And the Feast of Trumpets and the Feast of Atonements, that's when we will be free from sin. Those who believe and are keeping his commandments, we will have no more consciousness of sin. The hour is late. Time is running out. We got to get the truth. And these black churches is mainly what I'm focusing on. It's time for black people. And when I say black people, I'm talking about the Negroes that were brought here as slaves. All right. And in Africa, that's where most of the 10 northern tribes and the tribe of Judah, because we was taken from there, and Judah is still over there, and Israel. And a lot of them are waking up. It's a waking up. It's an awakening now. And this awakening, and you know, when you read the New Testament, these apostles are writing. They are writing, base everything on the Torah, the history of our people. But the church done got everything so twisted up and messed up, and now we believe in all kind of fairy tales, lies. And we got to see this. Because what's about the next event that's going to take place is World War III, the mark of the beast. Anyway, I'm going to continue on this, and tomorrow I'm going to get into some of the history of Esau. And we're going to see what has happened to us as a people. And but the Most High, he's trying to wake us up, and we got to wake up, and we got to keep his commandments, his judgments, and everything. And we are not a nation now governing ourselves as a people. The Most High says that he's going to gather us when Yeshua returns with the sound of a trumpet. He's going to send his angels, and his angels are going to gather together his elect from the four corners of the earth, from everywhere, from all nations. He's going to save us during World War III, Armageddon, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. And that's where you see all these ships now in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, the Red Sea, the Mediterranean. And as I read to you earlier, the 3rd chapter of Revelation, the 9th verse, those of the synagogue of Satan who say they are Jews and are not, they are going to acknowledge this. And I believe that this Charlie Kirk assassination and stuff like that, and if you're following a lot of this online, you can see there's a lot of holes and a lot of questions about that. And I believe that as this progresses, the truth, they're going to have to acknowledge that we are the people of the book. Yahweh bless you. I'll see you on the next broadcast, and I hope you like this video, share it so it can get out and get to more people, because the time is at hand. Yahweh bless you.